They made $100 billion off the pandemic. $100 billion with a B. And what did we get? We got nothing. Well, that's going to change April 17th. Because when we go to the table, there is going to be no niceties across the table. We're going to have rank and file members looking at this company, giving true testimonials on how bad this company treats their people.
So you realize that we're really not that far apart on the issues. We're just not that far apart on the issues.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
The facts, dates, and events presented in this video are from the member's best recollection and may not be fully accurate. This video is intended for entertainment purposes only. Always consult with your local union about your rights and duties at your workplace. The opinions shared on this video are our own and do not necessarily represent my employer's positions, strategies, or opinions. All views shared are protected under the National Labor Relations Act.
Nice. You are now in tune with the boss of the business, the What the Heck Show on UnionPowerRadio.com.
So you realize that we're really not that far apart on the issues. We're just not that far apart on the issues. So you realize that we're really not that far apart on the issues. We're just not that far apart on the issues. So you realize that we're really not that far apart on the issues. We're just not that far apart on the issues. So you realize that we're really not that far apart on the issues. We're just not that far apart on the issues.
That's right. You're listening to the What the Heck Show. It is May 7th, 2021. And I am live on YouTube. I am live on Mixler. It's not being recorded like other platforms. They record and edit. I don't do that. This is strictly Dickly. That's right. I'm here on the What the Heck Show here on Union Power Radio. We're going to be talking about actually the supplements that are two supplements are holding out right now. Is I think the California North, whatever it is. They are holding out. They haven't ratified or come to a TOK agreement. So that's putting pressure on the fact that the National still haven't been anyone sitting down with the company, with the National. It is now in May. I mean, they got a couple of months left, and I don't know if they're going to get the National contract settled within a couple of months. And that's July 31st at midnight. Will be the contract expired, and the National no one has, Sean O'Brien and Fred Zuckerman sat down with the company to tell them we're not moving forward with the National until the supplements are all done. Pretty much a lot of the supplements in different locals were done. I was here in Local 804 also was done. And people that don't know, the supplements, it's the yellow pages and the white pages are the National. It's funny that someone's getting on the air right now. I want to see who this is. And this is a guy that from the West Coast. Edgar, is that you? I guess he's trying to tune in right now. But anyway, so a lot of supplements was settled. It's two supplements that I'm sure if this is the guy, Edgar, I'm surprised that I see him on here, but if he is him from the West Coast, woo, it's gonna be a show. Because this guy is nothing but Sean O'Brien hater, and he's gonna speak his mind, I guess, and he's gonna let everyone know what's going on in the California, whatever's holding up on the supplements. Edgar, is that you from the West Coast?
Yeah, what's going on?
It is you. It is your voice. What's up?
Well, Jose sent me a text message.
So I'm talking about the supplements being, some of them are being TOK and it's only 2 of them that's holding out right now. And I
Yes.
know you got a lot of beef with this whole shit going on and with Sean O'Brien. And what's your
Well,
beef?
the information brownout is worse than it was in 2018 and 2013.
And why you say that?
Well, at least back then, TDU was on top of it, and they were able to get at least certain officers to leak information. Now, we're not getting as much information because a lot of people fear O'Brien. The Northern California guys appear to be a little bit upset at the entire process. They don't have much faith in O'Brien anymore. They don't think he knows what he's doing. They're really upset right now on that sitting arbitrator that they're not budging on right now. They don't want to.
But
They're not giving it into a sitting arbitrator. My assumption is, well, one of the officers up north told me was that all the other supplements agreed on a sitting arbitrator. Did you guys at 804 agree to that?
yes, we have a sitting arbitrator, and we never negotiated. We already had it.
Okay. See, here in the Southwest, I don't think we've had a sitting arbitrator, and some people are liking it, others aren't liking it. I really don't have an opinion on it, but up in the north, in the Northern California supplement, they think that the company is going to use an arbitrator in their favor to manipulate facts during terminations and suspensions.
But what's that has to do with not liking Sean O'Brien and what he's doing and standing down and saying, I'm not going to negotiate the national until all my supplements are done? I mean, what does that have to do with anything that, Sean O'Brien is doing wrong?
Well, the national negotiations, according to several guys up in Northern California, are due to begin on Monday, tomorrow. So they're going to move in and negotiating the national without those 2 remaining supplements, the NorCal and the Louisville Air Rider. So they are moving into negotiations. So what happened to not negotiating, not touching the national until all supplements were completed. So he's contradicted himself there.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if what do you mean by I don't know that he contradicted himself. He's taking a stand. He's not talking to. I mean, I don't know where you're hearing this from, that he's going to be talking to the national on Monday, but he was upset and he said to them, "Listen, I got 2 supplements that are still out there that needs to be ratified or need to be handled with." He's allowing the supplement, the guys that are still up with the supplements, to settle their supplements. There's no force going in. He's not telling them, unless you hear something different, it's telling them you better, ratify or TLK this supplement that you have out there waiting. You're putting us on hold for the national. I don't think he's putting that pressure on the California guys, unless anyone could come on and say, hey, we're being pressured by Sean O'Brien. I mean, rumors are rumors, and rumors need to be straightened out. I see this all on Facebook. I mean, that's what I do all freaking week, is read of the negativities and all this shit. But, everybody talks negative, but doesn't have proof of the positive.
Yeah, Marty Freites isn't going to be pressured. He's very well known for sticking to his guns. So they're not going to pressure him. As a matter of fact, in 2018, Andy Marshall, who was the Western chair, lobbied Dennis Taylor and Hoffa to fire him as his assistant. So he was the assistant. He was Andy Marshall's assistant in the West. And down here in Orange County in Huntington Beach, there was some negotiations, and he got them removed because they weren't agreeing to certain things. Andy Marshall was one of the masterminds behind the 22.4s, and Marty Freites didn't like that and spoke out against it too. So,
Right, but I mean, there's two supplements that are not settled yet, and that's the Louisville Rider at a local 89 and North Cal. What local in North Cal is not settled with the supplement yet?
they have several locals up in Northern California. So it's a number of locals, like down here in the Southwest Rider. We have 10 locals in the Southwest Rider. I'm not sure how many locals the Northern California supplement has, but it's several. It covers areas in
So
Sacramento,
what's the holdup?
San Francisco, Oakland. The holdup is the arbitrator. They do not want a sitting arbitrator.
So the company wants a sitting arbitrator, and the local doesn't. Is that
The
correct?
supplement, yes, the North Cal supplement is refusing.
I don't know what's so bad about having a sitting down arbitrator. I mean, a sitting arbitrator in Local 804 is probably one of the best things that was created. That the members don't wait as long, because if you have the company and the union always deadlocking, it's longer for the member to stay out on the street if they are discharged. A sitting arbitrator is probably one of the best and fastest things you can have in a local. I mean, our system our panel system in Local 804 is been working perfectly, because a lot of members that get discharged, if they see a month, that's a lot. Back in the days when there wasn't a sitting arbitrator, they used to stay out for a year out there. And some of these guys now see an arbitrator and can get back to work as soon as the case is being brought. And the whole thing about the case is, the Q&A. If your union has a good panel, a panel that could represent the members right, and the arbitrator, is right there to make the judgment. Sometimes the arbitrator don't even make the judgment. He leaves it to the company and gives them a heads up. Listen, I wouldn't fire this guy. So, work out something with a discipline. So, I mean, a sitting arbitrator at a panel for for discipline, I mean, I think it's a great thing.
Yeah, from the guys that I spoke to up there, they think that a sitting arbitrator is going to benefit the company, that the company is going to manipulate a suspension or a termination, and simply they think they would lose more cases than win. So that's their argument.
Are they winning? Are they winning without an sitting arbitrator now?
Apparently they are doing fine. They want to keep it the same way. So
I mean, I don't understand that if a company is discharging a person, a member, who makes the company is the moving party. So they're going to want this guy terminated. So what is it that the union would do to save this guy's job if it comes to a deadlock? Because if the company wants this guy, that he did such horrible things, he did the cardinal sin, the theft of whatever, stealing time, or whatever the case may be, and they want him out, and they're gonna hear the union plead their case, and then they're gonna decide, okay, we'll keep the guy's job. That's more dangerous than anything than letting an arbitrator rule, because the arbitrator would not be for any other sides. He's gonna listen to each side, represent their side, and then determine upon what the case was all about, and then make a final judgment of the arbitrator rule, either discharge or upheld, or go back to work with back pay or whatever the case may be. So without a sitting arbitrator, how the hell are they winning cases if the company is the moving party? I don't get it.
Well, me neither. I'm not part of that supplement, but that's why they're holding back. They're holding back on reaching a tentative agreement.
Just because they don't want a sitting arbitrator, which is probably going to be better for them. Because when you hire a arbitrator, it's both sides that hire them, the union and the company. they have to agree on that arbitrator. The arbitrator has to, interview just like he's getting a job to the union. He's got to interview and to the company. And then at the end, the company and the union decide if they want to hire that arbitrator. Also, the union and the company has the right to remove that arbitrator, if they don't like the way he's doing things and he's favoring the company or the company's favoring, or he's favoring the union. Both sides have the right to remove that arbitrator. But I feel an arbitrator, sitting arbitrator is the best system there is out there.
Yeah, well,
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
And that's the way Local 804 is doing it. And it's working out perfectly. The problem is this. You got to have a good fucking team to represent the member. That's all. You got to have a good panel team in the union hall. And with that, you can win the cases. And the company don't have a decision of how they want this guy don't want him to come back to work at all. And the arbitrator will rule at the end. And, sometimes I say to members, going towards the arbitrator, going in front of the arbitrator is like rolling the fucking dice. You're going to get what you get from the arbitrator. Either the arbitrator is going to believe your story or it's going to believe their story. But at the end, you're going to have a decision and you ain't going to wait so long for your decision. You have a family, you have a house to pay, you got to get this thing done. The only way you get into arbitration is if you not following the methods and procedures and not doing the right thing out there. So I always tell the members, the company they're not in the business for firing bullshit. They are. But, any little thing that you give them to shoot at you and to get you fired, you're going to give that to them. And you have to follow the procedure and go to arbitration. And arbitration, I hate arbitration. Yes, because, it's like rolling the dice, man. You don't know. You don't know what that arbitrator is going to say. Either yes or no. Sometimes we win and sometimes you lose. That's the way it is. It's like fucking almond joy. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
But that's crazy that they're holding up a supplement for not to have a sitting arbitrator. I mean, I just don't get that. I don't know how they win the case. I would love to hear how they agree on the moving party, which is the company, to fire somebody. And how do they get the company to change their mind not to fire what deals are they making? That, for me, that's deal making. That's horse trading type of atmosphere whatsoever. That's what I feel, because how the fuck if the moving party wants you discharged, and what is the union going to say or do to get this guy's job back when the company wants him on the street? What are they going to do? I want to know. I really want to know if anybody's out there that's listening that has that going on over there in California. I would like to know, how do you do it without a sitting arbitrator? How is done? Because all I see there is either some horse trading going on and the arbitrator's not there. I just don't understand. But anyway, that's stupid to hold the supplements to just for doing that. Now, do the members over there don't agree on having an arbitrator at a panel?
I have no idea. I've been talking to people that work at the locals, and they're sticking to their position that they want no arbitrator.
So, Edgar, if everyone don't know, you're from the West Coast. You're always
I actually have talked to one of the feeder guys over there. He's a member of TDU, and I'm not going to give his
you
name.
don't have to give. You don't got to give a name. You just got to say that you spoke about.
He is actually he's fine with no arbitrator, and he's a TDU guy.
But you don't have to be a TDU guy. What does TDU come into this place? TDU is the Democratic for whatever, whatever it is. Teamsters, Democratic
Union.
Yeah, it's so separate entity from the Teamsters. They, the lead guy, Dave Levine, I believe is the lead guy. He's not a Teamster. So why are we bringing him into the picture and TDU into the picture?
Okay, well, this guy that I speak to on a couple times a week, he was telling me that they don't want an arbitrator, and I asked him how he felt about it, and he says, I'm fine with with whatever my local leadership is fighting for. I guess their panel system is working fine for them. So other than that, I couldn't tell you.
I would wish someone would come and talk about this, because I would like to see how that system works, because I don't see it. I don't see how the company is the moving party. And we could talk to this for days until somebody answers, whoever been in a situation like that, and that's California. But I don't see it. I mean, I don't see how I just don't get it. I don't know how they work out deals. I don't know how how bad is the deal? I mean, do guys get like fucking a whole year suspension? What is the deal that will convince the company that this guy is not a dishonest guy, not deceiving the company? I don't get that, because if the company is putting this up to the case, up to the union as the moving party, how do you get out of that? How do you get that person out of that without an arbitrator ruling? Because it's definitely going to be deadlock. The union's going to say he shouldn't be terminated. The company says he should be terminated. And then it gets deadlocked between both of them. That's AA. You know, we can't come to an agreement. We're going to send this to the national panel. National panel could take over a year. So that means that member stays out for a year.
Let me read you what this officer sent me. He says, other areas have dishonesty language in their agreements, and NorCal doesn't.
Meaning?
So they use the language to fire people for honest mistakes. Then they bring them back after several weeks, no back pay, or they would have to wait months for the process. This is what he's writing to me.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's called horse trading.
Okay,
if you really want to put it down.
Yeah, the committee thinks they'll use the standing arbitrator for the same purpose here. He said last year there were 8,100 suspensions and terminations in Northern California. The standing arbitrator is being pushed for suspensions and terminations. That's why they want. Suspensions are resolved on the local level now.
I understand, but some suspension, this is what I'm saying. Something that it shouldn't be a 3-day suspension, and they're probably working out 2-week suspensions, 3-week suspensions, a month suspension. And that's what the company takes, because the company is not going to take something that's a 1-day, if it's a 1-day suspension. They're not just going to say, okay, we accept that 1-day suspension. They're going to go for the biggest days they can get out of this termination, which that's a problem, because I'm sure if an arbitrator was there and heard the case from the union and without reasonable doubt get this member off of maybe a 1-day suspension, whatever he. But I guarantee you the company doesn't take 1-day suspension just like that. They are definitely making deals to save the guy's job, yes, but they're taking a big chunk of it. So a guy will be out. If he was out for a month before his arbitration, and then he's going to get suspended for another month, that's not cool, because the arbitrator will rule either the company don't have enough evidence to suspend him for a month, they don't have enough evidence to discharge him, and it could be worked out into a 1-day with back pay. Now, a lot of members over there are not getting their back pay because that's the deal that the union is making with the company. Here in Local 804, we fight for the members, and if they did wrong, we get back pay, and a lot of money back pay, not just fucking 1 day or 2 days. And the arbitrator rules that. That's why it's good to have an arbitrator sit in on these cases. So then the company don't make what they want in big, 3 months suspension. And the union the only thing they have to do is represent the member right and let the arbitrator rule. I don't know why no one would want that. I mean, if you're in a situation that you're out, you get put out on the street as a non-working 72, you guys don't have that over there, a non-working 72. They just put you guys out and then they arrange a meeting. How long in California did it take for a person that's getting put out on the street on a Monday? How long it takes them to go to have a hearing over there in California?
This is a Northern California supplement that we're talking about.
Okay. Do you know? I mean, you talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
So you must know, how long does it take a member to see the light? And others say, do it take a month? They got to be
Here in the Southwest Rider, it's a week.
So within a week, they go see. They already went through the steps, meaning the low-level hearing, the business agent hearing, and then the next hearing is the arbitrator hearing. So within a week, they see it.
Yeah, we actually had a guy that was terminated for cooking up the dyad. He was putting in sort and load, and he was getting paid bonus for that. And he got fired, and they fired him on a Monday or Tuesday, and they let him come back to work on Saturday so he wouldn't lose his health care, because we have that one punch. You have to punch in at least once a week to qualify for health care, because coverage is only 7 days.
Okay, that's reasonable. What about the guy that didn't report an accident? What happens to him?
It's a week.
In a week, the moving party tells the union he's being terminated for not reporting an accident. So what happens in that week? How do they fix it? That, what do they do? I mean, do a lot of people, do the union accept the discharge and then the guys see you later that week?
Yeah, it's they meet within a week. They're at the local level, and if you lose at the local level, then it goes to panel.
And then what happens at panel? Because you have the moving party still wants this guy fired. So what happens at panel?
Well, you either get your job back, and if you don't, it's their decision if they're going to take you to an arbitrator and pay for the arbitrator.
So they do, after the arbitrator, they opt, if they go deadlocked, and then they say, oh, well, we're going to bring an arbitrator in it to rule it.
Yeah.
That is so stupid.
Well, that's, for example,
that is so fucking stupid. I'm sorry.
For example, the case with Richard Galvan that won that $5 million lawsuit, it probably took from the time he was terminated, and then he lost his local hearing, then lost at panel, and went supposedly to arbitration. It probably took about 3 months before he was finally terminated.
But he was working?
No. He was not working. You do have some cases with working terminations here, and we had several working terminations for guys not reporting on their scheduled day off. So the low seniority RPCDs that were being forced in on Saturday, we had 2 or 3 in my center that were working terminations.
Yeah. So someone on the YouTube said, have you ever heard of a company voting for the member or the union voting against the member? So then an arbitrator is necessary. I believe the arbitrator is necessary. I think they're holding up on the supplements for something that is so easy to do. It will benefit the member to have an arbitrator there. I don't know how California is. I wish someone that knows someone that in that Northern California?
The Northern California supplement, yeah.
Yeah, someone from Northern California that's been through this process and how it goes and how it works, how did it been work out, a business agent or something, because I would like to see if an arbitrator is not needed there, because I don't see it otherwise. And I said, like they said it's been working for them, but on whose benefits? I mean, is the member losing a lot more than having an arbitrator, or are they losing less if they have an arbitrator there? I have no idea, and I don't see why they holding back on a sitting arbitrator. it's money's going to be spent, because if you're making the process so crazy. So they go into the deadlock and they're going to get an arbitrator. The arbitrator, if it's not hired, it's going to charge a lot of money. And guess who pays for it? Both sides pay for the arbitrator. So the arbitrator could charge anything from $8,000 to $10,000, and both sides got to pay for that arbitrator. So if you hire an arbitrator that you have him there for a couple of months, you have a contract with him, you're not paying as much. You're not taking much out of the union funds when you do that. But if you're calling in an arbitrator last minute and just to make a determine, I'm sure that arbitrator is going to go, hey, if I was arbitrator, I'd be like, yo, $10,000, you want me to decide on something that's going to happen in 10 minutes, $10,000. And both sides got to pay that $10,000. And they got to pay for, I don't know how they do it over there, but they got to pay for the space for the hotel for the day. So whatever. I don't get it. And I'm not going to assume of it because I haven't been there, but I know from Local 804 and the way the panel system here with a sitting arbitrator, it works excellent. And a lot of people don't have to wait years to go see an arbitrator or see the hearing. It sometimes takes 2 weeks, depending on when you get, when you do that cardinal sin, or you wait the tops 3 weeks here in Local 804.
Okay.
So
you guys got your 804 supplement.
So I'm going to talk about what the part-timers got in the supplement here, and this is what they TLK them. So first thing first, part-timers, and it's for all of them, for the drivers also, we get an additional 2 sick days. So right now, the part-timers get about 4 sick days. So they're going to go up to, they get 3 sick days. They're going to go up to 5 sick days, part-timers. The drivers have 6 sick days. They're going to go up to 8 sick days. They're going to have the option to roll over 2 optional personal days to the following year if they choose to hold it. Full-time, the part-timers, members that was trying to go into full-time, and all the time they try to go into driving or whatever, and then the 38th day, the company sends them back down because, they wasn't scratching. Now they cannot send them back down, and they have to have a sit down with the business agent and the center manager and to see why they are sending that part-timer back down. And they got to have a good explanation of why they're doing that. So now the part-timers, they have 2 weeks vacation. All full-timers, they can opt and use one of the weeks for optional days to add on for the following year. You have to pick that. During your vacation picks, you got to tell the person that you're giving your vacation picks to that you want to take one of those weeks and make it an optional days for the following year. So in reality, you get 5 optional days. If you hold a week back, that's an additional 5 optional days that you can use. All part-timers that are working on a 6th day for now, into when this gets certified, when this gets ratified, now part-timers that work 6 days instead of working the 40 days a week, and then you're on overtime. Now, if you're working the 6th day, like during peak season, is time and a half at all time. I don't know if during peak season is time and a half, but it says here any part-timer working at 6th day will be paid overtime at the rate of time and a half. So I believe that's during peak also. Part-times also going into full-time will have days worked towards seniority count through Thanksgiving week. So peak season starts October 20 now, when there's ratified, and then the part-timers that are trying to make book, they will have all the way to Thanksgiving week, which is longer for them and better for them.
The Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Right.
So when does peak begin again, Hector?
So it was on October 15, and they moved it up to October 20th. And the ending of peak season now, it was October 15. Now it's January 20th. They moved it
21st.
up. Yeah, the 21st.
Yes.
Okay, 21st. Part-timers are now can transfer to any building in local 804. So that was a big issue, that we had part-timers that were taking jobs in the Bronx, in Yonkers, that live all the way in Brooklyn or in Queens, and they was having a hard time to get to work. And whenever they wanted to say, hey, can I go work at that building in Brooklyn? It's right next to my house. They could never transfer. Now they have the right to transfer to any building within the local 804 junction, that's a good thing. The layoff language for part-time employees has the right, if on layoff list, to bump a non-seniority employee in their building if in a different shift. So that was saying is that before, part-timers never used to when they go on layoff, they never used to be able to bump anybody. They just get laid off because the drivers are coming into the preload and they bump them off, and then they don't have nobody to bump. So now with this language, or the layoff language for the part-timers, they're allowed to bump a non-seniority employee in their building or in a different shift. Whatever shift is a less seniority person, they can bump them. If there's no trainees to bump, they have the right to bump a seniority order into another building. That's gonna be fun. But now they have rights to bump into other buildings. If they don't have it, they can't bump into their building. So that's good also, because before they didn't have that right. Once the driver comes and bumps them from being laid off from the driver, the preloaders didn't have anyone to bump or anywhere to go. They just, don't have a job until it pick up the pace. So this gives them a better chance to bump into other buildings and whatnot. Also was added into this supplement was the brother-in-law, sister-in-law will now be added to the benefits for the funerals. We didn't have that before. It's some more stuff that I'm missing that I didn't even print, and that's my bad, guys.
Want me to say it?
Huh?
You want me to say it?
Go ahead. You can go ahead. You have it?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
You have the package center seniority change, where Nassau is with Suffolk, Lowellton is now with Queens package centers, and all the Brooklyn buildings all together. You have the shop stewards will now post all bids in each center. The night job preference, when a permanent job opening, they will fill the job with a seniority employee within the building. Steward will get a list to the company in a monthly basis. You have the seniority geographic transfers for the 22.2 and 22.3. They can transfer within a local, but only to a hub building. You have the Article 13, if a full-time member selects 2 part-time shifts, after 10 days, they can request to work in a hub building to get their consecutive 8 hours. You have, after 3 years, any employee will be removed from the payroll if they are not in contact with the company. If they are in contact, they will get an additional 90 days. That's mainly for people that have been out on workers' comp and disability and just disappear.
Right.
And don't stay in contact with the company.
All right. So I want to get into what I was talking. I want to get back into that, Jamie, but right now I'm having chat on the YouTube, and they're saying that this person is from local 396, says, I never heard of us not having an arbitrator in a sitting arbitrator. So is North Cali the same as local 396?
No.
Okay.
Well, 396 is in the southwest
Okay.
rider. So in the southwest rider, we have 10 locals that cover. There's one local for New Mexico, one for Arizona, the Las Vegas local, and then the rest are all in Southern California, San Diego, Orange County, the Inland Empire, LA, Ventura.
Got it. So 396 is not part of that. So
No, as a matter
heard of not having an arbitrator
Yeah.
in the sitting. So one more thing they saying here on the chat, Edgar, they saying that local 89 have not heard of any national discussions on Monday. And then I get another saying that I don't know where Edgar's getting his information from, but there's no negotiations happening on Monday with the national.
No,
It's
they
coming.
said
This
today.
is from This is from the same people in Northern California that were told go back home and get your supplement done back home because we have to begin national.
They said today on a
Jamie, I don't know why you don't let nobody talk and you always talking on top of them. Why don't you wait till he finishes?
Sounded like he finished. That's why.
Oh, okay. I mean, if his mouth is still moving and I'm hearing him, he didn't finish.
Are you done?
Don't be trying to use that super fucking seniority here.
Oh, and the Northern California supplement has 16 locals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 16 locals that it represents. So it's a pretty big supplement. It's a big area.
But whatever. Like I said, someone from that local and that supplement, if they're listening or anybody knows anybody that's there, we got 20 more minutes on this show. If someone could explain to us how that works with just the moving party and the union and how how do they save people's jobs when the company wants them out? I don't have no idea. It's whatever. Anyway, but want to say what's up to Lenny Smith from Local 25 that's just joined into the YouTube. What's up, Jamie? Now you can talk, Jamie.
Sure, it's okay.
I don't know. I just got a letter in the mail, a warning letter that you're using super seniority, so you got to go before me because you're using super seniority.
Never was used, so I don't know where anybody get that from.
We'll talk about that if you want to.
That's the DM and his buddy boy trying to run that story, but that's another topic.
Yeah. So what are you gonna come up with?
I was saying they said on the Zoom call today, what's his name? Fred Zuckerman said they're hoping that all the supplements and the writer is done by the time they get back to Monday, so that way they can negotiate. They was hoping that it would be done. All of them will be done. That's what he said.
The seriousness of this, these guys are not going into negotiation to the national is May 7th. So we have June, July. They have 2 months to try to get this national together. National, I mean, there's 4 things that Sean O'Brien said he's going to strike for, but there's a lot more things that need to be fixed in the national, like Article 40. There's going to be a battle between the 22-4 language. The company is not going to want to get rid of that just like that, just because Sean O'Brien says, I want to get rid of it. It's going to be a battle between, and it's going to take a long time before something be done with that 22-4. They don't want to get rid of the PVDs. It's going to be a battle for that also. And it's not going to be overnight. It's not going to be settled overnight. It's going to take some time because it's going to go back and forth, back and forth. They're going to try to change the language a little bit. They're going to try to make it better or whatever the case may be. As far as I know, Sean wants that language out of the contract, the 22-4 language. He wants the subcontractors out. He wants a raise for the part-timers. I believe they are going to give their raise to the part-timers. I don't know how much, but I know they will get a raise for the part-timers. But that 22-4 and the PVDs and the subcontractors is going to be a battle, and it's not going to be done overnight, believe me. And it's other stuff that they're going to discuss, which is Article 40, which is probably one of the worst languages in the national that I could think of. And so it's going to be a big battle, and 2 months is not enough time. Now, before when Hoffa was in office, they started a year before, and that's why they did what they did and made their deal with the company. It's no room right now to make any kind of fucking deal. It's take it or leave it. That's what's going to happen. And and then if it's not done on July 31st on midnight, Sean O'Brien has the balls to go on strike, not like Hoffa and the old guard. Edgar hates when I say that, but Edgar, you've been in Teamsters for how long now?
I'm in my 25th year.
Your 25th year, so you've seen the in and outs, and you were there for the 97 strike, correct?
No, I was not. I got hired in 98.
All right, so you know the in and outs, and you well spoken on Facebook. You meaning that you speak well and you write well, and you always have a lot of stuff against Sean O'Brien, which I did too, Edgar. I absolutely did. I was part of the hate thing when Sean O'Brien was with Hoffa. But you know what? Everyone deserves a second chance. Everyone, yourself, myself, everyone deserves a second chance. And like I said in the beginning, when I was not so happy about the merge with him and Fred Zuckerman, and the only thing I could say is that, prove to me, and I'm going to tell you right now, Edgar, and on the air, he has been proving to me that he can do a better job than what Hoffa was doing.
Well, that 13 contract, which was to me the most concessionary of all, that really screwed us over here in the Southwest when we had to divert our pension to pay for the creation of a new healthcare fund, because if we would have gone into team care, we would have lost our program for enhanced early retirement, which is the peer system. It's peer 80 for full-timers and peer 84 for the part-timers. And that's when your age and your years of service combine to hit 80 or 84 as a part-timer. So I'll be hitting my 80 when I'm 49. And if we would have gone into team care, you weren't eligible to retire until you were 55 to receive health care. After it was rejected on the first vote, they enhanced it and they moved it down to 53. That also would have still affected our ability to retire. The guys up in local 70 in Oakland, Marty Freitz's local, they're getting $18.10 in pension per hour. While we in the Southwest, the UPSers in the Southwest get the least amount of all the UPSers, because we had to divert half of our pension increases in that 2013 contract to pay for a new healthcare fund that we had, that our leaders had to create in order to save our peer 80 and peer 84. So we're at 1321 in pension per hour. So you're talking about the guys up in the Bay Area are almost $5 more than us.
And what that has to do with Sean O'Brien being
O'Brien did not care about our peer 80 in the Southwest when he created.
But he wasn't the boss.
Oh, he was in charge of the supplements and he was in charge of team care. You guys, for example, you guys had that. That'd be like taking away your 25 and out over at 804. People wouldn't like that either. So it created a big mess over here in the Southwest. It affected a lot of members. There was like about 40,000 of us that were affected by that. By them attempting to throw us into team care.
Okay, but that's in 2013.
Yes.
It's 10 years after. We have new leadership is Zuckerman and Sean O'Brien, which I had my doubts about O'Brien because he was always with Hoffa. And and you got to understand this. Everyone is, if the boss is saying this is what I want done, you have to follow the instructions, just like in UPS as the driver. If a supervisor tells you, listen, I need you to deliver this box, I'm giving you instructions to do that, you're gonna have to do it. If not, you're in the office. So whatever happened back then, and you guys are blaming Sean O'Brien, this is a new era now. We got rid of a lot of old guards. Some old guards I still see. But those are guys that are
You think
loyal
that
to
William Hamilton, Bill Hamilton over in Philly, trying to make things complicated for Hooker.
I know that, and I heard that, and but that's what's that has to do with Sean O'Brien? I don't get that. That's Bill.
What did that have to
His
do
name
with Sean
is.
O'Brien? He added him to his slate.
And
What do you mean, and?
What's the problem with him adding him to the slate?
He's a horrible leader. He's an old guard
But how do
warrior,
you
officer.
obvious you think that, and maybe some other people think that he's a horrible leader, but his membership at his local don't think he's a horrible leader. So what do you care? But what do you care that you're in the West Coast? But what do you care that you're in the West Coast? He's in Philadelphia.
Mhm.
And did you go there to Philadelphia and ask the members, is this guy Bill a bad guy? He's in office as a principal officer for such a long time for a reason. It's not because he elects himself. The members elects him.
When's the last time he was challenged? And
Exactly. So why won't they challenge him? Why?
Hey, for the same reason that nobody challenged Roma Lois. They feared him. You're gonna say that Roma Lois was a good
what is to fear? Bill is such a fucking sugar puss. He's not a tough guy. So what are you fearing? No man should fear another man. Period.
Yeah. Tell that.
So what is the fear? If you run against Bill, what is the fear? That the members are going to vote for Bill instead of you, and you're going to look like, whatever? What is the fear?
A lot of people fear that they're going to lose their jobs, that they're going to be set up with management. Oh, yeah.
Stop it. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just me. And there's a lot of people like me, but you don't give fear to I don't see that happening. If you run against someone and if you can prove that you're being retaliated by the union and the company to get you fired, that's a different story. But if you're going to just spread rumors and not actually have proof of that, I wouldn't even talk about that.
He supported the 2/3 rule to impose the contract in 2013 and in 2018. He supported the 22.4s, even though he didn't have UPS. He had FedEx Freight and Expo Logistics both decertify from his local due to poor representation. I mean, the guy is not a good guy.
Bill, what's his last name?
Hamilton.
Okay. Bill Hamilton. I met him. He's not that hard. I mean, the members love him there. They support him there. There's a bunch of guys that when I went to that local, like, love him. So I don't see it, but maybe you heard it. I don't know what the hell. This guy, Hooker, he has a beef with him. They got a beef. Hooker got elected into office to 623. He's doing a great job with 623. That's what he should be focusing on. He shouldn't be focusing on who hates him and who likes him. He shouldn't be focusing on that. He got elected into office to represent the members of 623. That's his focus. Those are the guys that elected him into office. Those are the guys he should be paying attention to. He shouldn't be paying attention about Bill. He shouldn't be paying attention about.
He's not paying attention to Hamilton. Hamilton's paying attention to him.
And why is that?
They don't like him.
But that's tough.
They don't like Hooker, and that's the way it is.
That's the way it is. I mean, Hooker's got to do a job. The members put him into the office. He's got to do a job, and that's it. Whatever this guy thinks of him, who cares? It's irrelevant. The members of 623 put him into that. So he should just pay attention to that. I meant Hooker slide with Rome backslide. Okay. So, it is what it is, and it's gonna get, I guess, political more as the contract comes to the deadline on July 31st. Someone from the California says $13 an hour for pensions is not something to complain about. Don't forget, Sean O'Brien took a hard line against UPS last contract, then Hoffer fired him. Some people are forgetting about that. So a lot of people are almost like me, saying that, you know, I didn't like Sean O'Brien when he was at the convention and screaming and yelling, TDU suck, TDU suck, TDU suck. And I was part of that crew back then. I'm not part of TDU anymore. I think they still give good programs in TDUs in Chicago for people to learn a lot of stuff in being in the office with a manager or whatever the case may be, or grievance procedures. They give good courses for that. So I give them that. But I'm not a TDU member. I was, and I opt out not to renew my my contract, $50 a year. So Jamie, I know you are, but anyway,
I'm not.
Bernard said the issue is, what are we going to do? What are we going to have to give up for the 22-4 language to Vantage? That's a good question, man. That's a question that needs to be asked to Sean O'Brien, because Sean O'Brien wants that language out, and it's, I hate that language. I don't like that language in the contract. I don't like the fact that these guys make $6 less and they're doing the same job as a 0300. I don't like the fact that they can't have a request load. They have a life also. They got kids that they should have their request load. I don't like that they could get on the 9-5 list because they don't want to work all those overtime. I don't like that they don't have coffee. You know, that language is fucking the worst. I hate it. I don't like it. I feel bad that, you know, that if I'm working across the street at an 0300 and then 22-4 is working on the other side of the street, and he does just as much work that you're doing and he's getting paid $6 less, I'll be one pissed off motherfucker if I was the 22-4 watching the 0300 doing the same work as me and I'm getting paid less. I'll be fucking tight. But it is what it is. So that's good question, Bernard. What are we going to give? And we have to wait for that, because I'm not there, you're not there, you know, they're there, and they saying that, you know, they're going to be transparent to everything. So being transparent is letting the members know everything that's going on in the national negotiations. Now, they're saying that on the UPS Teamster app that they updating everything and letting everybody know what's going on. There's no brownout. I'm getting updates, but it's not telling me anything about anything. So, I mean, if anyone's listening and it has anything to do with that app, we want updates up to date of what's going on. We're the members. We want to know exactly what's going on in those negotiations. And but the updates that you're giving is just saying that you're sitting down with them and you're not discussing anything, which is the truth. They're not sitting with the company. So the rumors has it that you said they're going to sit down on Monday. Jamie said he heard it on today's. You heard it today, right, Jamie?
Yeah, on the Zoom call that they're hoping to sit down on Monday.
Well, they're saying they're hoping to sit down. There's not a confirmation that they are going to sit down. Sean O'Brien is saying he's not going to start the national until the supplements are all TOK ready to go to the vote to the membership. Someone also asked, when is the vote going out for our supplement? Until those two are ratified or TOK, and then that's when the vote goes out for the whole supplements of all the locals to be voted in to say yes. I love your show, bro. What's up, Local 710? Thank you. Thank you for letting me know that, and thank you for listening to the What the Heck show here on Union Power Radio. Listen, we're gonna be in a little crunch in 2 months. what we need to do is continue having those action contract parking lot meetings, showing the company that we are backing Sean O'Brien. We are backing of what he's doing. If we don't get what we want, we're going to go on strike. If we don't get it, we're going to shut it down. And that's how Tony Rosario and his little fucking speaker always saying. But anyway, Edgar, anything you want to say to clear up the air? Why so many people don't like you?
They had a UPS contract training up at Local 853 in Northern California today, and they spoke and they mentioned there that the national negotiations start Monday tomorrow. So they also mentioned it over there.
Okay, so we're gonna find out tomorrow if they are sitting down with the national, but I doubt it because I don't think this Sunday right now. I don't think they're gonna get that supplement ratified or TOK. If they're holding out just because they don't want a sitting arbitrator, I think that's so stupid. But it's the members that will have to vote on that. You know, the members, they gotta explain.
Do we know what's holding the Louisville rider?
I have no idea. You get better information than I do.
I had a feeder guy tell me that they were asking to build a lounge that would have showers and all that for guys that do sleeper runs. So he was telling me that I think yesterday when I spoke to this feeder guy about it. Don't know how true that was.
It is what I mean. If that's the case, and they want a shower, I mean, hey, give them a shower. What the fuck, man? It is what it is. I wish we in our buildings had showers sometimes. I mean, but some people can't even take out their piss bottles. Imagine how that shower is going to be. You walk in with 10 toes and you walk out with 20 with those showers because they're not that clean, you know? So I really don't care. I wouldn't even shower and I wouldn't even show my coworker my ass or my balls or whatever the case may be. Hey, I speak raw. Okay? This is a raw show. You don't like it, just tune the fuck out. But anyway, like I said, it's already going to be 7 o'clock. And it's a lot of more discussions that I would love to have with Edgar, but it's not enough time. And, you know, he's on West Coast time or whatever the case may be. But Jamie, you want to get into your shit for you can let people know what the fuck you meant by super seniority and why it's not being used. I agree with you what it says in the contract. It doesn't state that the super seniority is strictly for layoffs, but in the past history of local 804 and super seniority is only used when everyone is getting laid off and you're a part of that layoff. And if you're a shop steward, you stay to represent the members that are staying behind.
But that's the problem though, Hector.
What's the problem?
Because it doesn't clearly state what it's supposed to be used for. So that's why it should have been somewhere down the line. It should have been re-looked at and put exactly in black and white, so everybody would know what it's supposed to be used for. Not for one person to say it's this and another person to say it's that. We need clear black and white language so everybody would know. So when you read that, everybody has different opinions about it. So really nobody is wrong. We can't go with what people used it for in the past. We have to go with what the contract says.
Super seniority cannot be used to pick a route. They can't use super seniority on that. They can't use super seniority to bump somebody of an optional. They can't use super seniority to pick vacation before seniority. You pretty much can't use super seniority only in one case, and that's if the layoff in your classification, that's when you use super seniority, that you don't get laid off because you have to stay there as a shop steward to
But then you're having some people say you can't even use it for that. If let's say a shop steward, you became a shop steward and you only have a year on a job. It's saying you can't even some people say you couldn't even use it if you're the shop steward and you have a year versus someone having 25 years. So it's like it's used for this person, but not for this person or for that. It's confusing.
So put that question out there. So you are 1 year on the job and you become a shop steward only because you know you're gonna have super seniority. And so that 1 year guy is gonna run for office to be a shop steward. So he could tell a 25-year guy that I'm gonna pick before you. Is that what you're saying?
No. You tell it's used for layoff.
It is used for layoff.
So, right. So somebody said on that post that something about somebody having 1 year and another guy having 20 years. Should he use his super seniority during layoff when another guy has 25 years? They say they should.
First of all, a 25-year will never get a year off. That number's too high. But if you're talking about like a 10-year guy and a shop steward is a 1 year guy,
right,
is in the same classification, yes, the shop steward has the right to stay there because he's in the super seniority comes into effect when the layoffs comes into effect. So if that 10-year guy is not the shop steward and the 1 year guy is the shop steward, he gets to stay at work and the 10-year guy gets laid off. But the super seniority cannot, that 1 year guy cannot bump him for vacations, cannot bump him for OPHs, and I cannot bump him for any routes that are bidded. Like if a good route comes on and the 10-year guy is ready to get it, he cannot use super seniority to do that. Anything other than layoff, he only could use it for layoffs. It doesn't say it in the language, and I told them they should have you put it in black and white, just like you said. But that's the way in past practice it's been for the longest. In my sense,
it needs to be put in.
It's the worst thing for a person to use super seniority to bump a 25-year vet vacation time. That is fucking crazy. That you can't. And it's been done. Some shop stewards. It's been done in the Bronx, especially in the Bronx, and I caught on to that shit. But I'm not gonna mention the person's name. But he became a shop steward and started getting good routes. Started picking and back then we never had summer vacation when you had a certain amount of years. You know, it was hard to get a summer vacation. This guy became a shop steward and started using that language and started picking summer vacations with 10 years on the job. Well, the guy that's 23 years on the job couldn't get that week because he uses super seniority, and that was bullshit.
Wow.
Optionals every time they had a guy and if he didn't like the guy and he would bump him and say, I'm using super seniority to bump you off of that optional. That is fucking bullshit. That's why super seniority only is used for layoffs, just layoffs. Super seniority is only to be used if a shop steward is laid off by, why would a union brother or sister use it to violate a fellow Teamsters? I believe that's true. That's just violating the whole system of having a super seniority. It should be written in black and white, but any business agent sees any union, I will bring them up on charges for doing that because that's bullshit. You shouldn't be using super seniority to bump for vacation or days off. There's some more questions here. It should only be used for layoffs purposes. I have a clerk that is a shop steward and he was not laid off because of super seniority. He's also has moved more than 20 years on the job. So it's a lot of people that follows the rules and follows the super seniority thing. And I kudos to them because they don't take advantage of other members, and that's taking advantage of other members. So super seniority here in Local 804 is only used for layoff purposes only, and the classification. So it's that time of day again. It's 7:05 p.m. here in the East Coast. I had Jose waving flags and having fun and humping that what is it, the rat over there? There's a lot of
I'm
rats.
at the sorry, heck, I'm out here at the Medieval Times to help picketing with the Medieval Times workers. We have 3 Teamster locals out here, 952 myself, 396 and 542 from San Diego, showing union solidarity to the Medieval Times workers, and other unions are right here too. We're protesting, man. We're doing what needs to be done for the workers. And let me jump on what you said earlier.
Yeah,
That's how
buddy.
it is in the fucking picking line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There needs to be some transparency in these updates. We're just getting updates, but they're shell updates. There's no details behind it. We just want to be informed.
Exactly. That's what I was saying, that if they're going to update us with some damn details that's interest to us, not just saying that we sat down and got back up. We want to know details. The members want to know exactly what's going on in each negotiation contract. I see that picketing over there. He's having fun over there in California. And what's going on over there?
Well, we're just picketing Medieval Times. I don't want to hear this saying that California is lazy. We don't stand up for workers' rights. As you can see, we're doing it right here. I went to another picking line early in the morning at Irvine for the OC access. They drive around the elderly and disabled to places they need to go, groceries, pay bills, or wherever. So we're out. They're striking as well. So I don't want to hear this nonsense that California we don't stand up for workers' rights. We do. I mean, we got to be a little bit more energetic. We got to be a little bit more engaged. But we're slowly changing that narrative out here that we're just soaking in the sun and shit like that and surfing. No, we're standing up for workers' rights. This is union solidarity right here. We're trying to make California to a union state.
I hear you, and thank you for doing that and standing next to your brothers and sisters out there. And that's what we all should be doing, is helping out other unions to create some kind of solidarity with everyone. Because if all these fucking companies, these union busting companies need to know that we all together, no matter which local and what industry you're in, we are union. We want union all the way, and we should be helping each other out. So thank you, Jose, for being out there with those union brothers out there and representing the union. Edgar, I got to say goodbye to you from the West Coast. And thank you for coming on for the first time in history of fucking Union Power Radio. You never come on.
Jose sent me the thing. I thought you were just doing it was access to your regular YouTube show. I had no idea that I was going to be on. I mean, I'm like, I'll listen to it. I was getting on to listen to it.
Oh, you are live. You're on live on Mixler. You're on live on YouTube. And this is going to be on podcasts. I've been slacking off on podcasts, but I'm going to put it on podcast for everyone could listen to the show that they missed. I want to thank Jamie. I want to thank Jose for doing what he's doing out there in California and being out there with those union brothers and sisters. And thanks, Ed, for coming on. And I want to thank everyone for listening and chatting. And thank you for listening to the What the Heck Show here on Union Power Radio. We'll see you back. And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, because I won't be on next Sunday. But I just want to wish all the mothers out there a happy Mother's Day to all our Teamster sisters. Thank you for listening to the What the Heck Show. Peace out, my brothers.